hopefully I'll hand over to our speaker and then we'll go from there. Once again, good evening, everyone. My voice is not as exciting as it is typically because I don't know if I'm under the weather, but I'm currently not as strong as my usual self. So please permit me today. And today we have Miss Lydia George, who is the social and media lead for Sella. I know a lot of us we know Sella. Sella is an e-commerce platform and also a creator company that allows creators like you and I to get paid for their work in Africa, outside of Africa. All right. And today she's going to be talking to us on the topic learning to manage work, people, and pressure in marketing. For the past 2 weeks, you have been learning project management, you've worked on several projects, you've had tasks that you had to do, micro tasks, and now you get to talk and she'll share her experience working with the different departments at Sella, what that looks like. For her being the socials and media lead, she may be the one handling the graphics, she may not be the one, but I'm pretty sure that she's had to communicate with the design team, had to communicate with the website team, also have to communicate with the leadership team, and how she's been able to do that and do it excellently well. As far as I'm concerned, she's been working with Seller for like over 2 years now, but I'll allow her to introduce herself fully and you get to know her, get to hear from her experience. This is someone that is already doing the work. While she may not be a project manager or a program manager, but I strongly believe that this is something that she does every single day at work, manages projects, manages people. So I'm very excited to have her here. She's someone that I have a beautiful relationship with over the years. I love the work that she does, and I am strongly, I'm confident that whatever it is that you're going to hear from her today, highly, highly beneficial to you. So please, please lend her your time, be attentive, get your questions ready, right? And like I said, this is someone already doing the work. So if you have any questions to ask her, if you're interested in working with a company like Seller, if you are trying to figure out how to get to where she is, this is the person to ask the questions from because she is already doing the work, as I told you. So please and please engage her, ask her questions. Again, if you want to do what she's currently doing and you need to know how to get there, please and please ask her those questions, okay? I'm pretty sure that she is more than excited to address your concerns today as much as possible. Okay, so please and please, Lydia, over to you, please. And if we can just unmute
Okay.
our mics and give her a round of applause before she starts talking, I'd really appreciate that. Thanks. I'm going to start that. Okay. All right, Momo.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Ruth. I'm really glad to be here. So, everyone, unfortunately, I really worked on slides today, and then Lights Nigerian NEPA decided that it's no longer in the business of producing electricity. So, I won't be able to turn on my camera so that my phone doesn't die too fast, and then my laptop is also dead. But we move forward regardless. Um, Also, say it's also one of those days where I'm working during the weekend, hence why my laptop died on time. Um, so my sincere apologies, but I would make this as engaging and as exciting as I possibly can through my words and my voice and my intonations. Okay, hi everyone. Like Ruth said, my name is Lydia George, and I currently lead socials and creative media at Seller. What that looks like is very, very different from most roles because most people hire social media managers or social media marketers, and then they hire, they don't really, Nigerian companies don't really hire head of media as much. It just really got up and started recently. So I would explain my role in simple terms. Media has a lot to do with what you see on social media. Every piece of video, every design, every text, every color is accounted for. Every pixel is accounted for with social media. And for me, what this then looks like is controlling how that what that looks like day on day. So I see every piece of content, whether a comma or a full stop, I fully account for it. I also collaborate with the media team to create all the videos, motion graphics, text, and all sorts at Sela. Sorry, I need to put my phone on do not disturb so I don't, yeah. So that's what it looks like for me day on day. Today we're going to be discussing something I really find interesting because this is kind of like a session I wish I had had earlier on, which is learning to manage work, people, and pressure in marketing. Now, we can all agree that in one way or the other, you've come across marketers and they tell you that like, oh, their job is really high stakes, high demand, high energy, and sometimes even low reward. But I beg to differ sometimes. So what that means is whether you fall into marketing or you make a decision to actually start working as a marketer, you are going to face pressure. You are going to face people because obviously people bring pressure, and you have to learn how to manage that and still manage your mental health and your mental space, right? So, in this entire session, I'm going to be sharing some things that have helped me manage my life, especially recently. I'm going to be talking about things that have really helped me manage my life, but also really walking you through kind of like a day or a week in the life of what I do for a living and what it is you also could be doing if you do choose to kind of like venture into marketing full time. So I'll start by saying this. Marketing has a lot to do with people. You cannot exclude the people experience from marketing, whether it is working with people or or marketing to people. Yeah, that's the word. Working with people or marketing with people. You will encounter people every day of your life. So you really, really, really have to get to the point where you become a people person to the best of your ability. And I don't mean a people person in the sense of you always want to be around people. Trust me, I almost like I'm not antisocial or anything, but I try to limit my access or people's access to me as much as possible. But when it comes to my job, I am literally accessible to the best of my ability also. So with marketing, you want to number one when marketing to people, you want to understand them and not just their likes and dislikes. You want to really know them. Like, what is this thing that icks them? Let's say you're working for a tech product like let's say piggyvest, right? You have to understand how your customers are engaging with your tool or your product, so much so that you can come to dev or the development team and say like, I don't think this is the best way for them to get to this particular point. And they ask you why it works, so why it just and then you can say, oh, I've just also been experiencing the fact that our users might find it a bit difficult and might find it a bit daunting when it can just go straight to this particular place. That comes from understanding your audience, understanding your users. It also plays in how you post, in what you post and put online, in what you consider outgoing marketing, right? Sorry, in what you consider outgoing marketing. When you are making a post, you have to be so cautious about everything, not just about protecting the company's image with posts, but you also have to understand how people are reacting to certain things online. You also have to understand how people are reacting to certain topics in general in the country. Also have to understand how people are responding to certain topics in your industry. So then you have world, country, industry specific to your product, and then specific to your products, right? So, for example, if everybody is talking about fraud, right? About fraud, maybe it is not a good time for you to make a joke about a thief, or make it not a good joke time for you to make a joke about a caricature of somebody stealing something. It's not the perfect time because everybody is complaining and rampaging about fraud, right? And you can't achieve any of this without truly knowing your audience. You have to understand what gets them to go from point A to point B. And I'm not saying to the T, like you have to know the right words to use. Sometimes there shall be trending topics that might come in handy or that will come in handy, right? But in other things, it's not about knowing the specifics, but it's just about understanding behavior. If I say this to my audience, how would they respond? Or if I come with this tone to my audience, how would they respond? If I ask them to send an email as opposed to sending a DM, will I get more conversions or will I get less conversions? Right? So you have to really understand people. For some sects of individuals, they've always been wary about shopping on websites, right? Our parents were very wary about shopping on websites till 2020, shopping online, shopping on Instagram. So if you were a marketer then, you are obviously not trying to get people to go to your website. You are trying to get them into your DM first to have a conversation with you. Do you understand? Please let me know if you're following. Okay, great. Great, great, great. Okay, great. So at that point, you're obviously not trying to get people to go straight to your website. You're trying to engage them in the DM, make sure they see that you're an actual human being that they can trust, that they know, and they actually like to a degree. Before you then take them through the process of making a transfer for the payment. And sometimes, in before 2020, people used to do a lot of pay on delivery. Do you guys remember? Like you could pay for a lot of things on delivery. Now, not so much, right? With the advent of like website and also how trust has decreased between agency or brand and people these days, you tend to see less of pay in person or pay during delivery. So as a marketer, you have to understand these things. You have to understand the nuances of all these things. Because at the end of the day, it is what is going to allow you as a person make good decisions, right? 'Cause at the end of the day, with every post, with every full stop, with every comma, with every inflection, and with every yes and every no, you are making a decision as a marketer, or at least somebody is making a decision for you, or about your product, right? So number one is understanding human beings. And we've talked about it on the people you are marketing to aspect, but also now let's talk about people you're working with. One thing I suffered, especially with one of my coworkers who is also a lead, he also leads his own team, which he's the product marketer, his product marketing lead is. I did not take time out to understand him, and he did not take time out to understand me before we started working. And now, so you had these two departments which are supposed to work in tandem with each other, right? They have ideas, they bring the ideas to me. I work on the visual elements of those ideas. I send it back to them, and then they still bring it back to me to post. So now two departments that were supposed to be like in sync, right? It's supposed to be like a marriage. Things should be able to flow without what they call it. Things should be able to flow without friction and move without friction and be distributed without friction. Now, because you had two leads always going at it with each other, everything was just slow. Wasn't until one day I said that let's have a conversation and understand each other. And now he's literally my work bestie. I also do the same thing with each member of my team because I see them as incredibly, and they are different human beings. You have to understand that, like, okay, this person would react certain way if they are spoken to like this, but this person won't react a certain way if they are spoken to in the same manner. You have to understand each of them individually. And it wasn't until I said building relationships with each of them. So some people will say, oh, I treat this person in a more baby manner than I treat this other person. Because you both of you don't respond to the same treatment. Do you get? I have younger people on my team who are going to school, so I do a lot to check on them. Like, hey, are you going? Are you doing well? How's your exam going? I know. Are you still going to be able to distribute this today? Is everything okay with you? I do a lot more of that than the people who have left school, who are on their own, doing their own thing, right? So, with working with people, you have to learn how to deal with them. Understanding them is the first step on how to deal with them, right? So whether it is a boss or it is a co-worker or it is a junior member of your team, understanding is a key aspect of leading or being part of a healthy team. So even with building structure, right? You cannot build structure until you understand how each of these people are going to react to the structure you're building. So, for example, I introduced, or the company introduced, or rather, my department head rather introduced one-on-ones, and I knew how everybody was going to react to the one-on-ones. I knew some people are going to be excited about it, and some people are going to be skeptical about it, and would refuse to book a one-on-one session. So, what I did was One day, for the people who I knew who refused to book a one-on-one session, I called them on WhatsApp on a random day and just spent like 30 minutes talking with them. And then at the end of the session, I said, "Oh, would you like to do us do this more often?" And they're like, "Yeah, this was really cool." So I had them book a one-on-one session. So sometimes, as leaders, we think that you have to take this structure and cram it down their throat, push it down, push it down. They must swallow it, they must love it, they must like it. But that's not the way to lead. That's not the way to even relate with human beings. Meet them where they are. Start from there. Let's start from there. Let me meet you where you are, and then we can go from there. Sometimes it might take two WhatsApp calls to get that person to book a one-on-one session. It might take one, and for some people, it took none. Right? So you want to always make sure that in everything, your first step is not to, raise shoulder and, raise shoulder and be the best, or, or cram things down people's throats. You want to make sure that you are first seeking to understand the people you are leading. I tell my team a lot. I tell my team a lot that, look, in as much as yes, so on paper I'm your lead, but like at this, it's on our points that I'm getting to. I tell my, like I said, sorry, like I was saying, I tell my team, in as much as yes, on paper I'm your lead, but like day on day, is me and you people inside this grunt work. Is me and you people inside the mud. We're searching for things, right? So people think that like, oh, being a leader is always, being above. Most of the times you have to be in the work with them. You have to be in the mud with them. We have like 5 million designs to do. Okay, oh yeah, you work on the design elements, leave the copy on the other slides for me to do. Do one, I'll do the rest. Oh, this is such a small thing I can design by myself. Okay, let me do it. Oh, this is something that I think, this is a video I think I can finish up, but I can do the subtitles by myself because we have another video to work on. Do it. So most times, even with teams, and this is not even just particular to leader, but also with members of the team, if there's something you can do to help the next team member, do it. Because at the end of the day, it's a shared glory. When your boss is coming to say, like, oh, this was an amazing campaign, 90% of the time, they don't know who worked on the campaign. 90% of the time, your boss does not know who particularly worked on that campaign. But he's going to come and say, "Ah, this was an amazing campaign. Thank you so much, marketing team." It is now between all of you in the marketing team that people will now stand up and give a standing ovation to the person who brought up the idea and who spearheaded it. But first, it's going to be a joint glory. But if the person fails and doesn't do the great work, it's going to be a joint failure. Because your boss again is not going to remember who worked on it. It's just going to be like, "Oh, these people put out was so bad, was so terrible. The marketing team, what is wrong? What's going on here? What do you guys need? People are not fast enough." Ish. I see it as I see this. I one thing I'm very particular is shared blame, shared glory. So even sometimes when my boss is saying that, "Oh, who worked on this thing?" I'm like, "Oh, we all worked on it. What don't you like about it?" And then behind the scenes, we'll now say, "Okay, Emeka, but you're the one that worked on this design. What happened here?" Right? And I'm not saying sometimes you don't need to put some people in front of your boss. So like, since you're behaving terribly, what's going on here? Sorry, my phone. Let me plug in my phone to a power bank. Give me 1 second, please.
Yeah, while we're waiting for her to come back, she brought up a really great point that I would like to reiterate in the meantime. And it is the importance of understanding one another. Very soon, you guys are going to be working on a lot of projects together. And I think at this point, you even have a team project for project management. Am I right? Is nobody hearing? Hello?
There's no team project.
You currently don't have any team projects. Okay, okay.
Yes.
That's fine. But I know for certain, like I'm certain rather, that for digital marketing you're going to have team projects, and there are times that there's a member of the team that is unable to contribute because they have an exam coming up, right? You'd have someone who is unable to join because of XYZ. And then you may even have someone who is very excited to do most of the work just because they are able to. Okay. Just understanding the team dynamic, knowing who is able to do what when. And that comes from you knowing one another. Because if you don't know the members of your team and you don't know their current capacity, you don't know who is able to do what. And then understanding is almost impossible, because if I don't know you, it's hard for me to understand where you're coming from. And then assumptions start to take the lead. Okay, so I really, really appreciate her bringing that point up. And she is here. So I'm going to stop talking and have her continue.
My apologies, everyone. I had to just plug in my phone because light finally came. Um, we thank God. Okay, so as I was saying, sometimes, and this is not to say that sometimes you would have to put somebody up in front of your boss. Please don't get me wrong. But as a leader, that's not your first. Blame game is not the first thing you do. Never, ever, ever. Even as a team member, blame game is not the first thing to do. I have a rule on my team, and I don't think any other team has this rule, especially with the social team. If we should come and see a typographical error on one post, if you I have a group, I have a separate Slack channel for my social team, right? For the social team at Stella rather. And if somebody should come and drop a picture of a typographical error that, let's say, the social media manager made on an Instagram story, if you drop it there, two things are going to happen. I'm going to text you to ask you to take it down and to text that person privately. And then I'm going to have a conversation with you about how you treat a team member. Because if your first thing as a co-worker is to assign blame on any level, whether you're actively going at it or it's something that you just did, if that's your first way to go about any situation, then I don't think you're in the right place. Your first step is, hey babes, I saw you made this error on Instagram stories, oh, watch out. And the person is not stupid, they're not insane, they're not bad at their jobs. They will, what they call it, they will rectify it. And I don't need to know. I don't need to know about every typographical error because that's going to give me emotional trauma. It's going to reduce my trust. And that's the thing. Typographical errors might seem small, but if they keep recurring, if they occur once, now I'm going to want to see somebody's entire post week on week. And that's already breeding distrust within the team. Right? So this is still not to say that, like, don't, sometimes you need to bring some people, you need to bring them, you need to caution them, and like they should stand before their boss, person that's paying their salary, and sit up. But it's not your what do you call it? It's not your mission. Right? So also on understanding people. As we've talked about how a leader should behave. We've talked about understanding people. We've talked about how you should treat a team member in times of mistake. So now, last thing I want to actually talk about is showing up for a team member. So people oftentimes think because one person comes up with an idea, they should be the one to carry it on top their back from beginning to end. That is cruelty. So people come up with ideas that are bigger than them, and they are well aware that is bigger than them. But it is the job of the team to take this random idea that came up, hammer on it, hammer on it, hammer on it, hammer on it, put it through fire, put it through everything, and then bring it out as a beautiful diamond. So let me give you an example of a campaign that worked out like that for me. I need to think. So I don't know how many people have ever heard of my Seller story, which is like a thing where people record videos of themselves talking about how Seller has helped them in their creator journey, and we give them cash in return, like it's a giveaway situation, right? So that idea came up in my first week as Seller, and I had no experience doing anything like that in my entire life. I was very green. And what happened was that idea didn't even initially look like that. But when it was time to work on it, I presented it to the team. I said, this is what I'm thinking. I think this is going to be a very big campaign. People took it one step out. Like it went from just me, it went to the product team. They added their spin on it. They sent it to PR. They added their spin on it. They sent it to copy. They sent it to creative, the content writers. They added their spin on it. So when people added their things and everybody did a part of the journey. So one person worked on the ads, another person worked on the copy, another person worked on the messaging, another person worked on the hashtags. Before you know it, this was an amazing campaign. So yes, I came up with the idea that's going to benefit us all because at the end of the day, the marketing team, like I said before, the marketing team did it. I did not do it. So never leave, like always support, show up, especially in projects for a team member. So these are some of the things, especially when it comes to like being part of a team and also like we talked about marketing to people. You have to understand them. I'm trying to end my own talk by 6:20. So please help me also keep look at the time so people can ask questions. So now, sorry, let me have a drink of water. Okay. So now let's talk about managing pressure. And this is actually one of my favorite topics because I've been dealing with pressure for a while. And I like to say that there are only pressure is a very interesting pressure is a very interesting is a very interesting thing because there are only two ways that I can go. You can either break under pressure or you can build capacity under pressure. So another thing where they say, oh, pressure makes diamonds. But people also forget that if pressure made diamonds, like just only made diamonds, they would have a lot more diamonds in the world. There's some pressure that will break a diamond, especially a diamond that's not building strength along the way. So one thing I decided early on in my career was nobody was going to force me out of my career. I was never going to utter the words, and this was also a spiritual thing actually. But I was never going to utter the word. I was never going to utter the word. I'm done. That's why I told God that like no matter what. Sorry, my apologies. I told God that no matter what, I will never ever use the sentence, I'm done with marketing. Never. Let me out there. I can say I'm done with my job. I'm done with where I'm working. I'm done with this. I'm done with that. I'm done with this project. But never the words I'm done with marketing. Because I was like, especially when you know how green you're coming into the industry. I was determined that I was going to be somebody. So things happen to me. I'm not going to lie to you that like, oh, I've had like rose like every day was good. I'm not going to lie to you that every day was good. Some days were hard. I had like a really hard boss. My department lead was really, really hard on me. Some days I was just like, I'm done. I'm not doing it again. Let me just write my resignation letter. I'll go and find another company. I'll find companies that are looking for, even though it's a bad salary, I'll find. But like nobody is going to force me out of anything. And that is the mentality I want you to have. Whether you are going in full time or you want to build an agency or you want to do anything. Like ask Ruth. I'm sure there are days that Ruth is like, I'm not no. Like if I just focus on medicine, life no go too bad. But if I just focus on medicine, life will not be terrible. But staying power, oh God. One thing I've learned through, like my parents always taught me was the ability to stay. Rain come, sun come, hail comes, but staying power is what really gets people to where they want to be in life. It's not the fancy courses. It's not this. Yes, amassing knowledge is great, but if you amass knowledge and at the first sign of stress or danger you retreat, what was the knowledge worth? So I don't want to sit down here and lie to you like, oh, you pressure is not good. You don't have to go to where there's pressure. Go to where there is pressure because it would build, you will have to build capacity. You don't build capacity in like, oh my God, it's so cute, it's so nice. That's not how you build capacity. You build capacity with dragging it with whoever wants to drag it with you, genuinely. And I'm not saying be disrespectful or anything, but like, if your boss says this design is rubbish, I'm not saying don't cry, oh. Go to your private corner, cry, call on Jesus, but stand up and go and redo that design. Ask the right questions. Like for me, I wasn't a great designer when I first joined my company, when I first joined where I currently work. And my boss said, like, this design is not nice. And I will cry, I will weep, like, oh my God, I spent so much time on this, yada, yada, yada. But then instead of like just going back to, I used to go back and just try again. But at the point I said, no, I came back. Okay, please, what don't you like? And sometimes he would tell me, I like the color, I like this, I like that. I just don't think it is aligned. But I'm sure in frustration of like his everyday work and like everything, he was just like, this one is bad, this one is bad, this one is bad. Same thing happened with me and, and a designer recently. I saw this and I was like, I hate this design. I don't like it. Throw it away. And he was so patient with me because I was actually having a bad day that day. I was so patient with me. He left the design. He started working on something else, but he left the design. And at night, I came back and I said, can we get on the call so I can tell you what I don't like? And I told him everything I didn't like. And now I actually like that design. And he didn't change a lot of things. He just moved things to the right, moved things to the left, moved things backwards and increased opacity. That was all. But if he was not willing to like stay, he would have said, "Ah, I'm tired, I'm not doing again." And that's not how you build like capacity. Dealing with pressure is about building capacity, oh, because pressure never ends. Pressure never stops. It is a constant thing. Everybody has been under pressure. Let me even go biblical here. Even Jesus was under pressure. Like millions and billions of souls and trillions and quadrillions of souls on your shoulder. You are under pressure there. Is it now one marketing manager that you cannot withstand? If they tell you something is bad, go back, rework it, or ask them for feedback and do it again. Do it as many times as possible. Yes, sometimes you might miss a posting deal, but it's better for that post to go out perfect than for you to put out rubbish that somebody will come and shout at you again. So another step of dealing that I've found with dealing with pressure is taking time off. That's something I had to learn. I had to learn it. So one thing I know is that with my job, because I lead a team, and my bosses, I mean, if you own a business, right, or if you are a like chief operating officer, CEO, you don't sleep. Your business is always on your head 24/7. You're always thinking, so I realized that about my boss and the fact that sometimes they will message me during the weekends. So what I did was I wake up late on the weekends, not to avoid them, but to just make sure that like I sleep enough and I kind of like and I relieve myself enough that I can deal with them throughout the remaining days. And I also have like, because they're also Christians, I my Sundays, I know that nobody's going to disturb my life on Sunday because all my bosses have gone to church. All of them have gone to church. I'm not saying that they are toxic. It's just when you are leading in it, when you are building a tech company, your mind, any business at large, your mind is every day on fire. Even you're in bed with your spouse, you're also thinking, okay, this thing could have been done better. So I just knew that that's the behavior. So I found ways around it, right? Also had conversations that like, oh, I go to church and my church lasts till 4 p.m. So sometimes I'm not going to be able to do this thing you want me to do on time. And sometimes if they still maybe it's so urgent and they come and I just tell them they're like, oh, I'm not home. I didn't carry my laptop, I didn't carry anything. I'm outside, I'm at a party, I won't be able to get to this. And sometimes you realize that it's not that urgent. So sometimes dealing with pressure is about communicating and you see the pressure will reduce. The pressure will reduce, it will fall. So yeah, sometimes you just have to communicate that you can't do it, or it's not the right time, or you don't have the time, or you're not in the right place, and that you do the always make sure you give them like a timeline. So, for example, I was going for my mom's birthday, and I didn't tell anybody at the company because I didn't think I needed to call it a Friday night. So my boss was now texting me about something, and I told her that like, oh, I'm so sorry, I might not see. We're waiting for somebody to respond to us about something. I was like, oh, I might not see this email on time, or because I'm going off my mom's party. And I was scared to tell her because of like the experience that I'd had with a former boss before. And I was so shocked when she responded, "Oh my God, I didn't know today was your mom's birthday party. I am so sorry. Please take the day. I'll keep watch on this thing and I'll let you know when they respond. But if you see it before me, just help me send it here too." Oton, finished. On that day, it was a design thing, and designers had gone out to church, and my boss needed the design out for a press announcement. And I told him that, like, oh, hey, nobody's around, nobody's at home. Even me, I'm not at home. So nobody's with their laptop. And he was like, okay, no problem. When you guys get home, just help me make sure that this is like on top of your mind. Please make it a priority. I can wait. Oton, finish. Nobody had a migraine, nobody had an aneurysm, we all survived. We're still all working there till today. So with these things, because again, like I said at the beginning, marketing is truly a high pressure job because we are these days we are brands are playing a very big attention game. Brands are playing a very big attention game. So it's always go, 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 go. But you're also a human being. So always take a time to rest, obviously. Always communicate when you're not able to do stuff and give a timeline as to when you'll be able to do them. And then finally, it's not every pressure you have to bow down to. Staying power will allow you have a long career. Imagine if people that went to medical school they gave up in year three. That's the end now. Medicine over. Medicine finished. The dreams finished. But people like Roots that did it, they have a career, they're building something they're really proud of. So day on day, I know it's hard though, and I know it can be very daunting, but don't bow down to every pressure. Sometimes stay there, ask for the proper feedback, ask to understand, chase your boss to understand this thing that they are saying. Don't let them bully you out of your role. Stay, 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 stay. At the point, you just realize that like you just have to understand people. Again, it comes to understanding people. Just have to understand people sometimes. Genuinely. Like I know my boss, sometimes he'll say things are urgent, but I swear they can wait. And all I need to do is just communicate to him that like, okay, I'm doing this now. Can I get this to you later? Or like, oh, when do you need this? And he's like, oh, it's so important, so important, so important. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop doing this for this. And sometimes he'll not tell me that, oh, please don't stop doing that other thing. We'll do it. I can wait for this new one. It's about communication. So I know we like I'm so excited I actually get to talk to people about these things because sometimes you just feel like if you say some of these things on Twitter or somewhere, people are like, oh, but how much pressure can one take? And like obviously you can't take. Sorry, somebody just tried to call me. Sorry, everybody. So sometimes some of the pressure is just too much and you have to like exit the situation. But sometimes, like a wise man once said, be a weary, stay there, chase the feedback, chase to understand. And if you do decide to leave that place that's giving you too much pressure, again, pressure is not toxic. There's some amounts of pressure that just like God forbid the weapon that fashioned against you, and you need to dip. But sometimes it's just you're new to your role, or like this is a new season in the role, and you really need to, buckle up and like put your head down to do some things. And then the last thing I'm going to say, this is something I'm also trying to get my team to understand. In as much as everybody wants work-life balance. Sometimes the game is the game. Sometimes you will have to work on a Saturday. Like today, I've been working. I was at an event yesterday. I was working there. People that even went for the event were just looking at me and shaking their head and laughing. But I was working there. I'm working today. Sometimes the game is the game. You just have to like buckle down and like do this thing and get it done. Right? So sometimes you have to work during the weekend. Sometimes you might need to work into the night. It shouldn't be every time. If it's coming too often, then there's a problem. It shouldn't be every time, but sometimes you just need to. But sometimes you can just need to like buckle down and like just know that okay, this is going to take me into an unconventional time, but I'm going to finish it because there are other people depending on me. You have to understand that when you work in a team, There are people depending on you to do your work well. If you pass rubbish, like okay, for example, we're putting out a product announcement and we realized at the last moment because of the CEO looked at it that we had not fully explained a particular product. So me now, because my team deals with the design portion of it, I now call the person that wrote the copy. I say, this thing is not there. This is what Douglas has said. That person said, I never got anything like that. Now you have to call head of marketing. Head of marketing has to call senior development officer. Senior development officer will now call his project manager. Because one person did not do their work well, or at least did not understand, or maybe did not write the brief well. You see how it affected the whole chain of people. So you have to make sure you're doing your work to the best of your ability, the absolute best of your ability, because other people are depending on you being able to do that. So that's my final take. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to speak about this. Honestly, I think it's something that we have to talk about more often, and I really do look forward to doing this more. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions, anything you would like to ask, I'm all ears and I'm happy. Yes, somebody already had the question. Love it. Hi, Angela.
Before we even start taking questions, I just want us to take a moment, unmute your mics, please, and just give her a round of applause. Like, a lot of the things that Lydia said, they're so real. Like, when I'm telling you that they are so real, as she's talking, I couldn't help but just think of what's happening even in my company. Like, these are real conversations that needed to
Yeah.
be had, and you're learning a whole lot that will be beneficial to you as you work with people, even as you start your own thing as well. So please, please unmute your mic and just say thank you. Please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Miss Angela, over to you. Please ask your question.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening from here.
Good evening.
Sorry, I was actually trying to give a thumbs up. I don't know. Was
Okay,
not
okay.
on the question, but then again, I will really say thank you so much. I'm super grateful. This section is so amazing.
Thank you
It's
so much.
grateful. I learned so much. I learned so much. I feel like the time is too short. There's so much more to learn. Honestly, I didn't even want you to stop because there's so much more, so much thing that you're imparting. But I want to ask,
Okay.
in this digital, though I don't really have idea about digital, I won't lie. I won't really lie. But I want to ask because of this in this program that we're doing, where I think this question will go to uh let's say our MD or our course coordinator. Uh, are we going to be taught digital marketing, the processes like the ad, digital ad, and all those stuff? Are we going to be taught about it? Because with this section now, I think is really interesting, and I feel like we need to know more or do more about it.
Yeah, I can answer that question. And the answer to it is absolutely. And you get to have me the last 3 weeks of the marketing track where I'll be teaching you digital marketing. And you'd also have a practical project that it infuses project management, content writing, content creation, which is why you had to take those courses first. And then you come to me the very last and we'll go over digital marketing. So yes, you learn all those things.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Questions for Lydia before she leaves. Questions, comments, like my preceptor would say in the hospital, questions, comments, threats. Any threats to the first time he said that, I was like, wait, what? Threats? How? From where to where? Okay. No questions. We're all good. Okay. All right. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Well, Thank you very much. Oh,
I have a question, Abi.
please go ahead. It was a thumbs up, so I wasn't sure what I was looking at.
All right, sorry for that. Yeah,
No problem.
yeah. Good evening, everyone. Um, and good evening, especially to Lydia. Thank you
Good
for
evening.
taking this time out to enlighten us on this great topic. All right, my question is very simple. Now we know that there are some persons that find it too difficult to work under pressure. They like to take their time to carry out their activities, their tasks, and in giving out their best, they they like doing it with their own in their own time frame and scope and all of that. So I want to know, in a situation whereby the project manager, or there's a project at hand and there's a particular time frame for it, and probably along the line maybe one member of in the team actually did a mistake that warrants a little shift, and probably everybody just had to work seriously. I mean, put forth extra time and extra effort to meet up the target. And in such a situation, this unique person that finds it so difficult to work under pressure, how can he cope under such a situation to give his or her best in achieving that task? Thank you.
Okay, please could you go at the question again? I'm so sorry. Just help me out with the question again. I don't want to miss anything.
All right. The question is this. I said there are some persons that find it so difficult to work under pressure, right?
Okay.
And take for example, there's a particular task to be achieved, and there's definitely a time frame for it. And probably in the course of the team working out to meet up that task, in view of the time frame, there's actually probably there was a mistake in from one of the member in the team, and
Okay.
then everybody had to put in extra effort and extra time to see
Yeah.
that, yeah, the targeted time is being met to achieve that
Yeah.
task. Yeah, so somebody who is also part of that team that find it so difficult to work under pressure, how can such person
Okay.
work, yeah, under such a
It's such a
situation?
good
Because
question.
at this, yeah, okay, okay, thank you.
So I would say if you can't communicate this with your team lead, communicate it with your team, right? So I know there are certain people on my team that don't do very well under pressure. So what I try to do is if we have like a task like this that's like it has to be done now or never, we get on a call with that person and we just walk alongside that person. It helps with anxiety, having people that you can laugh with and quickly run your ideas with, and reduces, the need to like send a text message or anything. But I'll say really communicate. The person should really communicate this to their marketing team. They're like, oh, I'm struggling with this. How do I ask your marketing team questions, because marketing lead rather questions, because they've been through it. I'm struggling with this, or I really struggled with this in this thing. What do you think about it? But most times it would honestly just your peers will help you a lot better. Like I said, sometimes it might just be you need to get on a call with certain people and just work in tandem with them. Or if you work physically, go to their cubicle and work in tandem with them, show them, they should give you feedback. You change, show them, they'll give you feedback. And that's kind of like the way to go about it.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. That
Yep, my
clears the
pleasure.
question. I appreciate. Yes, ma.
All right. Any other question? Okay. Okay, okay. Let's give a round of applause to our speaker once again. And
Thank
get
you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
thank you so much, Lydia. We'll do this again. We'll do it again by
Thank
the
you.
grace of God. Really appreciate you.
Amen.
Thank you for your
Thank you
time.
so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a wonderful evening.
Have a good evening.
Alrighty. Okay, so we have your coach here. I'm not sure if he has a few things to share with you. And if you guys have questions regarding your capstone project, now is the time to talk about it. So we'll have like another 10 15 minutes with your coach, and then we'll call it an evening. And anything else, you can just drop it in the group chat, okay? So, Micah, over to you.
Hey everyone, how's it going? How's your day been? Apologies, I really joined late. I had seen my calendar reminder, but for some reason, I just thought that it was going to be tomorrow, right? But yeah, I'm here now. Any questions, any comments, any observations, anything that you'd like to get some clarity on? Give me a minute to switch to my laptop. Okay, Esther, please.
Good evening, coach. Good evening, everyone, once again.
Hello.
So, I need a clarity on the, I think the second tax, I guess, yeah, the second tax, where we have to, you said we should go on Google and check for Gantt chart. So, I need clarity on that tax because I don't, are we to, I'm trying to understand, are we just to, look at or just check how a Gantt chart should be, or we are using it for the assignment. So that's what I'm trying to. Definitely, I know that we have to do something related to that. Like we have to. The tax is for us to um, our daily routine. So we need to work on it. But I just want to know if we are to use the Gantt charts, the if we are to use the Gantt chart to do the assignment, or we can actually use Excel or Google Sheets to create a Gantt chart and do the assignment. I don't know if I'm able
Okay.
to.
Very good question. And I like how you're thinking about it. So a Gantt chart is a format, not a tool. Okay. So a Gantt chart is a format, not a tool. It's a it's a it's like a calendar, right? And usually calendars will come in different shapes, different designs. The calendar design on an iPhone is different from the calendar design on an Android, on a laptop, even on a MacBook. Okay, MacBook and iPhone, their calendars are similar. The calendar on an Android device is different from the calendar on a Windows device. Do you get it? So think about it like that. Someone saying something. Okay, so that's the idea, right? That's pretty much how you should think about it. So a Gantt chart at the end of the day is a okay. I have a different call in my background. Yeah, sorry, thought it was from the class here. I've been on life of a project manager, right? Technical program manager. We've had an incident, a production incident, and I work in a fintech. So we've been on it since Wednesday afternoon. We had a cluster. Cluster is just is like a virtual storage where different applications sit on, and it's been at risk. So because of upgrade, like your laptop updates and something is not working well. So we have that, and if we don't get it fixed on time, people may lose their money, literally. So that's what we've been dealing with. But got got its resolved just about less than an hour ago. So it's been a long time. So yeah, long story. Back to what I was saying. So Esther, right? A calendar, sorry, a Gantt chart is pretty much something like that. All right. So you can use Excel for it. You can use Excel. You can use ClickUp. You can use Google Sheets. Yeah, I think these are three main things that people use generally. I know some people make it very fine these days and use Canva, but I don't believe in using Canva because I think it defeats the purpose. Except you're trying to just make a presentation. But if you want to use if you want to have a Gantt chart that is a living working project document, you should use something that is accessible, because on your projects you may have some adjustments. You may need to make some adjustments to some things, so you need something that is easily editable, not a design. So let me show you a sample quickly. I had a I had a ClickUp demo earlier today. How long do we have, Ruth? Hello, Ruth.
Yeah, we have technically till like 1:55, which is 6:55, because the next session starts at 2 p.m., 7 p.m. in Nigeria.
Okay, good. That's great. Let's look at it. Let me quickly. I'm thinking of something that will make it very simple because of the time. All right, so a quick tip, right? A very, very quick and easy tip here is, for anything you want to do, right? Especially in the world that we live in today, when you hear of a new feature, this is one of the reasons I gave you guys the assignment to do, really. Um, the goal is for you to learn as fast as possible, right? A lot of information coming around to same list. You don't need to be a master at all of those things because they can be very distracting, and you may become a generalist, which may not be a bad thing, but in addition to being a generalist, you also want to have things that you're a master at, okay? Yeah. So whenever you hear any tool, right? Whenever you hear any about any tool or any terminology, anything that sparks your curiosity, just come on Google. All right. Come on Google and say, what is a Gantt chart? So then Google gives you a Gantt chart sample, and it just gives you like a story. Yeah, like that. So what I really want is a Gantt chart template. So then I could add free Gantt chart templates. Okay, so I'm gonna select this because it's top of the page, the SCRP page, and it's also directly from Microsoft. Okay, so there's a high chance that it's not scam. So there are a lot of clickbaits. So on Microsoft's website, I assume like this. Okay, so good now. So you see three different templates here. Let me open the three of them. I think they have an incident happening on Microsoft side. Something is not right. Them. Let me try this. Esther, are you following though? Do we have any more questions aside from this?
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. Okay. I think they just might be having an issue here. So let me check for others. Gantt chart templates, free Gantt chart templates. By the way, I've been wondering, I've not seen any of the assignments that I asked you guys to drop on the group. What's up with that, guys? I've not seen any of the briefs or reports that I say you guys should drop on the group. What's up? I wanted that to be an interactive moment for us. Are you guys still working on those assignments?
I will say
It's not
yes.
already number.
So,
Well, you say yes. Is this not the second week of the training? Are we not wrapping up already?
yes.
Okay.
Um,
Have you discussed it in your group?
we briefly talked about it, but we have
Okay.
not
So
actually
i-
discussed it.
in addition to discussing it or talking about it, can you do well to uh act on it? Project managers are action driven people. Guys,
Okay.
seems a lot of these things that don't want to open today, but okay, I think I found one on Notion. And I prefer to show you an Excel template though. Let me see if I have one. Three Excel templates. Okay, I have some I could show that we've used in church. It's going to come up shortly. Just wanted to be sure that we're not sharing sensitive information because we're recording. Okay. Okay. So do you see this? Do you see my screen here? Okay. Hmm. Doesn't exactly look like what I actually want. Just give me a minute. Let me just do some more digging and put a good template for you guys. I got one from HubSpot now, but so many clickbaits everywhere. You can see my screen, right? So, oh my email. Nothing is for nothing is. um, we think we would need to have a okay. We need to have a call. We need to have a call with. I mean, I'd like to have a call with the learners. Say maybe sometime this week. I don't know what time will work best for everyone, so we could sync. I want to do a demo of ClickUp. It's a project management tool. It's best. I'll prefer to do it in person, like in an instructor-led session rather than recorded class. So we'll find time to do that this week. So you can
Yeah, I
just
just
check
wanted
out this. platform. So, say again, go ahead.
Yeah. Just let us know when. I know for the tech students, they had like a live session yesterday evening. So you just let us know what day, what time, and
Okay.
we'll roll with it.
So I dropped the link to this to the Upwork page. So everyone can go there, check it out. So check it out. Let me open it on my end. Then we'll just do a quick demonstration of what it looks like. Okay, can everyone see my screen? You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So when you see, I mean, on my screen right now, you see a template, a Gantt chart template I got um from HubSpot. So what's happening here is I create the list of tasks, the start date, the end date, the duration, days complete from start date, and days remaining, then the progress for each one. So yeah, there is a design that has been created here. There's this I think this is a pivot table that has been set up such that depending on the dates that you enter here, um, an overview or what you can call a pictorial view is being set up here. Do you understand? Don't worry. When we have the live session, you would see how to create this using a project management tool. Okay, it will make more sense using a tool that just makes everything automated, right? No one really creates these things one by one anymore. Okay. So yeah. But I would still like you guys, I wish we had more time, but I would still like you guys to make some research, get your hands dirty a bit, and check out Gantt chart samples, check out Excel templates. Because if you set out to work in a project management role, some organizations would actually prefer that you use Excel because a lot of people know how to use Excel more than your project management tool, if you get what I'm saying, right? So let me show you a quick snippet of what the tool looks like. So it will still be great for you to go out, try it out. Okay, let me ask, anyone here has tried out cloud, whatever different people call it, different intonations. You've tried out the cloud AI tool. Anyone here? Esther. Aside Esther. Aside Esther and Dr. Roots.
I was about to speak up like how. That's a lifesaver. It's really a lifesaver. If you've not used cloud, please. ChatGPT is not everything.
All right. So wait, for you though, I'm really asking this question. I'm expecting responses. Of should I take it that it's only Esther that has tried it? Interesting. Okay. Okay, I think we could add a demo of this right here, Cloud AI. Anyone has tried it out? Like it's Cloud AI. Okay. What about ChatGPT?
Yes.
Okay. Jana. Okay, so you've used ChatGPT. Jana, Eme, Philip, Angela. You guys have not used ChatGPT. Are you for it?
That
Okay.
cannot be true. Guys, please speak up.
I have. I have.
Okay. All right.
Of course, now definitely.
I mean, it's not good to assume. It's not good to assume. So yeah. Anyway, that's so in our live session, we should look at. All right. Yeah. In our session, we'll look at a use case for Cloud AI for project managers. Yeah, we'll look at a few, one or two use cases, and we'll have this demo. Oh, Jana, you have used it before, but you deleted it because it's addictive. Why though? Would you like to share your thoughts with us? Can call this a wrap in 6 minutes. Jana, would you like to share your experience using it?
I don't think she's in a place where she's able to talk.
Jana, you're not able to talk? Okay, you're in an event. All right, okay. That's okay. I would like to hear your thoughts though. I'd like to hear your thoughts on how you think about it and why you had to delete it. Maybe we could pick some lessons from that. All right, that's okay. Let's see. We can work with a Friday. Next Friday. Hopefully, Friday works for most people. That's on the 20th. All right, say by 6 p.m. Yeah, Dr. Ruth, have fun.
Yeah, so for Friday, what you're showing them, will they need it for their quiz or their project, or it's just for you to show them before they finish the course? Since they graduate and leave the class on Saturday, that's why I'm saying that.
So what I'm showing them, they don't really need it for they don't need it for the project, right? I would want them to so the research part of the work, right? The research part of the day-to-day of the project manager's work is built one of the experiences into the Gantt chart assignment. So just like I showed them, I expect that they go all out, check for a template, use that. So I sent you a link. I sent you guys a link. So use that template and create the Gantt chart that you need. Get it?
Okay,
So yeah.
okay, so that'll be okay. Okay,
So what I'm showing them is going to be a little bit more advanced, automated, yeah, something like that.
okay, okay.
But to be good
Yeah,
that they have tried out the first stage. Then.
okay, okay. Thanks, Esther. I was actually about to ask if you don't mind putting it in the marketing track group so everyone can have access to that link. Thank you. Okay, then no problem. We'll work with that. You said 6 p.m. on Friday?
Mhm.
Okay, okay, okay. We'll work towards that. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, concerns, or threats?
Threats, really? Is that a joke?
It's not a joke. I told them this evening, I said, that's something my preceptor in the hospital started telling me like 3 weeks ago. It'll be like any feedback, comment, questions, or threats. And I think I like it. So I may continue doing that.
So in case someone is threatening you, it must be nice.
What?
Okay.
What did you say?
Mean that in case someone wants to threaten you about something.
Exactly. Like just threaten me right there and then. Miss Angela, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, coach. Once again, my question is, to be honest, I did some of my assignments, but at some point, like when I begin to get confused or something, I'll just kind of leave it and feel like I was going to come back later. I've not been able to do quite a number of them, and I just told myself by Monday I'm going to face it head on. But my question now is, in case I beginning to do it, or and I there's because sometimes you come in contact with something and you want like kind of discuss, you need to talk to someone or discuss it with someone or just to have a clarity. So how do I go about it in case if I'm in the process? Because from Monday, Tuesday, I want to see if I can do quite a number of them, and I'm beginning to encounter issues or something. Because I noticed when they put it in the chat, it takes time for response or something. I don't know. How do I go about it?
Okay, okay. If you have a question or you need me to clarify something, please just tag me. As soon as I see it, I'm going to acknowledge it. Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, I think I understand what you're saying, but remember when someone complained about the video, I think I responded almost immediately, just asking what the exact video was. But I didn't get the context early enough, and it also took time to just sit down to record it. Have you guys seen the recorded version, like the re-recorded version? Has
Yes, I
anyone
saw it.
watched it?
Just I've not been able to listen to it properly, but I saw it.
Okay, all right, great. So that's silly. All right,
Yeah.
I think
To
that's all for
buttress,
my end.
yeah, to buttress your coach's points or response, I'd say you can start by putting it in your subgroup and see which one of your subgroup members can help with it because they probably did the assignment or the task already at this point. If they're not able to respond to you or they don't understand what you're asking or you're not getting the response on time, then you escalate it to the project management group and tag your coach. Even with that, like some other students may still be able to help you, like other students from other subgroups. Okay.
Okay, ma. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay. Alrighty. That will be all. Well, there you go. You even have a volunteer. Yep, yep, please. Yeah, you can tag Esther too, in the group chat. I'm sure she's more than willing to help. That's why I love our students. We're always here. We do our best to support one another. You all do your best to support one another. And I think that's really beautiful. Okay. That's why we love STST because you know that you're not learning alone and you're not learning in silo. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for your time this